I recently made this mobile game called Stick With It. Today we're going to take a look at the revenue, some statistics, and how I saved the game from becoming a complete failure. So the game is free, and you can play it without seeing any advertisements.
Wait, what? Then how does it make money?
Good question. There are ads in the game, but they're rewarded video ads. With rewarded videos, a player has the option to watch one, and they'll get something in return, like an extra life or in-game currency. Incentivized ads like this tend to give a pretty good player experience when compared to other monetization options. That is, as long as you're not playing this game. Stick With It is a rage platformer thing where you jump around and stick to stuff. It's really difficult and you can easily lose a ton of progress at any point. What I did was add this undo move button that, surprisingly, lets you undo your last move. But you have to watch a 30-second video ad. So I had this completely original idea to share exactly how much my game has made so far. It's been out for almost 2 months. Let's first take a look at the revenue in the initial 3 weeks. In that time, the game somehow got about 150,000 downloads across iOS and Android, and it made around $926. After the initial release, along with the video I posted about the game, it peaked at $100 on June 7th, and then continued to decline, eventually hitting $12 on June 26th. So yeah, you'd think this would just kind of keep going toward zero. But on June 27th, something amazing happened. Not really, I just released the first update. So let's see what I did. This is the Unity game engine, which is what I use to make my games. Usually for updates, developers will fix any bugs that have been found. But luckily, I'm an amazing programmer and my games never have any bugs. Oh. So I got to work fixing stuff like this, and this, and yeah. After an entire day of debugging, everything is working. Sorta. Good enough. Okay, with the game not completely broken anymore, let's tackle the next issue. The game is not fun. No, I'm serious. Even with the changes I made in the last video, it's still way too difficult, and not very many people have actually finished the game. So along with the impossible and hard modes, I decided to add a normal mode. The plan is that you'll be able to aim exactly where the player should jump, instead of having to time a moving arrow. I tried out a few different control types, like a joystick and a weird momentum-based dragging thing, and eventually settled on a swipe joystick combination. But this is still a rage game, and just so it's not too much fun, I added a few more spikes and obstacles to the new normal mode. Now there was a lot of confusion on how the checkpoint system worked, and that was because of my bad game design. So I added a map screen that shows the checkpoints you've reached and lets you switch between game modes. Alright, the number one suggestion for the game was to add more skins. So, let's make some. Now there are some amazing new characters like Square Guy, Lemon, and Blue Circle. Let me just steal this character select screen real quick, and there we go. Now players have something more incremental to work toward, instead of just sorta trying to get to the end of the map. And finally, I wanted to experiment with in-app purchases. So basically you'll just be able to pay $1 or $2 to unlock all the skins in the game. Stick With It is actually the 9th mobile game I've published over the last 6 years. A lot of my other games did not get many downloads and made basically no money at all. By the way, I'm not really trying to promote these games. They're actually pretty bad, so please don't play them. Especially Color Combine. You know what? Now no one has to suffer through that one. All of the initial traffic for Stick With It came from the videos I posted on the game's development. So this time it was a little different, and the game stood more of a chance at competing with the million other games on the App Store. Now let's take a look at how the Stick With It update affected the game's revenue. So here are those first 3 weeks we saw before, and here are the next 3 weeks. So yeah, improving the game with bug fixes, a more accessible game mode, and incremental rewards led to higher player engagement, which ended up having an impact on the game's revenue. On June 27th, the Android update was put out, and about a week later, after getting rejected 3 times, the iOS update was released on July 6th. And here it's hitting about $90 per day. In total, the game's made about $2,400. Most of that is from ads, and about $150 is from in-app purchases. This number's actually before Apple and Google take their 30% cut. So yeah, thank you so much to everyone for playing the game, undoing a few moves, and unlocking skins. This is way more than I expected for this game. Yeah, how about some more stats? The ARPDAU is the average revenue per daily active user. So it's basically a measure of how effectively your game is monetized. The median ARPDAU is around 2 cents. And as you can see, mine was around 2 or 3 tenths of a cent. And then after the update went out, it jumped up to about a cent. So yeah, this shows that my monetization strategy wasn't so terrible, just the game itself was. Well, I mean, it still is, but less terrible, I guess. The eCPM is the amount of revenue the developer receives per 1,000 ad impressions. So on average, for every 1,000 ads that are played, I will get $2.68. And there have been over 800,000 total impressions. I'm now realizing how boring these stats are. So,